We are at the Estate, which is a nightclub in Chicago, with Rosemary Fanti, who is an artist extraordinaire. We were at something called Summer Soiree, even though I don't think summer officially starts for another couple of weeks, but don't tell Shari Duffy that. And you do live event illustration, which means the event is live, you're live, something is live.
It's alive, it's not dead.
You draw on scene.
On site.
On site, whatever this is.
On Soiree.
On Soiree. I assume that's not all you do in the world of illustration.
It's not. What I do is first of all, I love to illustrate fashion, and I love to illustrate fabulous people. I come to events like this because it gives me the opportunity to be around very fabulous people that are dressed, and I can create an illustration for them that looks like them, but it's like a fashion illustration that they get to keep forever. It's kind of like a Bob Mackie look of what they have on. I don't like the C-word character artist because I don't do caricatures. I think of a character artist as someone at Great America that draws a big head and a little body. So I prefer to call them fashion illustrations. So I do those at events such as this. I also attend weddings, and I capture the moments during the wedding, sort of like illustrating their love story, much like a courtroom artist would do on site. And when I leave, the bride or whoever hires me, they get the illustrations when I leave. So I do a lot of bridal and wedding, and sometimes brides will send me photos of them after the wedding, and then I will create those in my studio, and also as gifts. So there's a lot of opportunities to create illustrations that make it very, very personal. So what I do is very unique to each person. In addition to that, I illustrate every month for Today's Chicago Woman magazine here in Chicago, and contribute illustrations that go along with their editorial work, a variety of different celebrities or people that they want illustrated that they're doing an article on.
How did you get started?
Pardon?
How did you get started?
Well, I started...
This is what people who can't be artists do. Kidding.
This is what artists do that think of something when they don't have a job. So it's being creative. But I've been illustrating, drawing, ever since I was a child, and my parents sent me to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago as a child on Saturdays, and saw that I really had a talent, and I really loved it. It was just so much fun to do, so much better than math, and
or science, or all those other courses,
right? That you can't relate to. So I decided, rather than going to education to be an art teacher, I decided to go in the advertising world, and that's where I made the bulk of my career was in advertising, doing storyboards and a variety of different things. When the agency, they would need ideas put on paper really quick, they'd call Rosemary into the meeting, and I would sketch them out.
So you could have a role in Mad Men.
Yes, exactly. So
I'm not saying you're that old, but theoretically.
Oh, well, theoretically, you're not too far off, because I still remember when people smoked in their office. So
all that good stuff, yeah. And drank.
So I had a variety of jobs in that. I did go back to school and moved to New York City for 5 years and graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology and majored in fashion design. But I really love the illustrating part of it, as opposed to putting in zippers and buttonholes. So that was really what I enjoyed, and I found that when I would go to friends' parties or people that I knew that were getting married, I tended to give and gift my illustrations to them, and that's kind of how that started, doing parties and events and weddings. It was word of mouth, and it's taken off since then.
Any sports art in your background?
Well, I've drawn a couple of sports people. Jack Nicklaus is one of them, and Arnold Palmer is another one.
I've heard of those guys.
Yeah, they're pretty well known, and Arnold Palmer is such really a classic guy, and I did a portrait for him when I was working in an agency. And but the actual art, sometimes I'll watch sports, even though I'm not really attuned to who's playing what, but I find it fascinating. It's almost like illustrating ballet.
Right. That the movement,
like football, and I do illustrate fashion shows and live things and movement. So sports, other than baseball, are pretty fast-paced, and they're fun to practice. So I will do that. I'll practice on a street corner, in a hotel lobby, or in front of a TV drawing sports figures.
well, the Bulls or the Blackhawks or the Bears or the Cubs or the Sox, they ought to have you out
Exactly.
to do some live art.
That's right, capturing the moments of stealing home and capturing the moments of a touchdown and a variety of things.
We'll have to work on that.
Yeah, it's sort of a hometown Leroy Neiman.
Well, that's what I was thinking as I was watching you with your strokes and going, okay, you are who you are. You're not Leroy Neiman, but it's sort of that same feel to it.
And what I do is when I draw live or going to a wedding, it's capturing the moment. And that moment will never happen again, and the moment is unique to you. So what I create is very, very personal and something that you'll always look good on paper, right? Either way.
Well, and here we are capturing the moment. And thank you very much.
Thank you.